I'm your #1 fan.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
What an excellent day for an exorcism.
My mom and dad are gonna be...
I see dead people.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back to Killer Cuties Podcast.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. Great. It was good seeing everybody.
Yeah. Bye. Bye.
No, we're here for at least like an hour.
Yeah, I hope.
We have quite a bit of horror news. I feel like a lot of stuff kind of dropped yesterday.
Yeah,
So,
should I kick us off?
yeah. Hit
Okay. I'll hit you with a tiny one.
me. Ooh, okay.
Terrifier 3. Its release date has been pushed up by 2 weeks.
Oh, wait. Okay, that's good news.
Yeah. So we'll now get that on October 11th. And obviously it was originally supposed to come out around closer to Halloween. So that gives us a few weeks before Halloween to get into the Halloween spirit.
Nice. I like that. I feel like we've had so much news about things getting pushed back. It's nice to have something move forward.
Yeah.
Nice. I have Jeff Katz, who produced The Pope's Exorcist. He has announced that a sequel has been officially greenlit. And previously, Russell Crowe had said that the movie was supposed to be part of a trilogy. So it looks like they're moving forward with that.
Cute.
Yeah, I did watch it. I'm going to be honest, I don't remember a lot from that movie except a vivid image of Russell Crowe dressed up as a pope riding on a Vespa.
That's kind of fun.
It's by far the best shot of the film.
You know,
No,
he's
that's
like
not fair, I don't
really, he's really good friends with Terry Irwin.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That is a fun fact that you would know.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And next we've got Mike Flanagan
Love.
of the Flaniverse, Midnight Mass, Haunting of Hill House, etc., is in talks to direct another Exorcist film.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. According to Deadline. It'll be associated with Blumhouse and Universal.
Oh.
Obviously. Blumhouse's hit is a hit or a miss.
That's true. They just don't know. They don't have any medium ground. It's either really good or really bad.
Yeah. And they've been putting out clunkers, so maybe this will be... I mean, I trust in Mike Flanagan to do something fun and spicy.
Yeah. I feel like he hasn't disappointed me, so I'll definitely be willing to give it a go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have news that kind of relates to our last week's episode. So last week we talked about Raw, which was Julia Ducournau's first her directorial debut.
Mm-hmm.
And she has her third film that has just started casting. So it's going to be called Alpha. Yes. And apparently it's said to be her most personal, profound work yet. So that's exciting.
It's horror?
I don't know. It was in the horror news section, so I think so. But I feel like it might be kind of in the realm of her other two films, Raw and Titan, where it's kind of like has horror elements, but might not be like 100% horror.
Yeah.
That's what I would guess. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, one more for me.
Okay.
We kind of got a little sneak peek into 28 Years Later, sort of. And it's a lot of speculation. Yeah. But what we do know is that Danny Boyle put an urgent casting call for cyclists, marathon runners, and triathletes to serve as extras in the month of May, which is also conveniently when 28 Years Later is supposed to start filming. So we can assume that it's for 28 years later, but that hasn't been 100% confirmed. But anyway, if it is, hopefully we'll be getting some good extended scenes of zombies going real fast.
Yeah. I love how it's in the month of, like, it's May, babe. It's now.
Yeah, now. It's urgent. It's an
Okay.
urgent casting call.
Yeah, that does sound, because I think we talked about how they got like athletic people to do the zombies in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
They go fast. Real fast.
Yeah.
Infected, sorry. I don't want to anger people who don't consider them zombies.
What are zombies if not infected?
Reanimated.
Yeah, okay.
Trust me, I've been down the rabbit hole.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right, last one from me. If you are a fan of the Chucky TV series, it just ended its 3rd season, and if you want a 4th season, the show's creative team has announced that there's a number you can call where Chucky will send you a short message to your phone along with a graphic, and you can post it to show your support. So kind of a fun little marketing way of like getting people to call and get a message out, because I think they're trying to like let the studios know that there is a want for a 4th season. So if you want to do that, the number is 1-201-500-3347. You can call and talk to Chucky.
Cute.
Yeah,
That is fun marketing.
I know. I'll be honest and say I have not watched the TV show yet, but I will for sure.
It sounds a little desperate. It sounds like they don't have the funding to make a 4th season, and they're desperate and trying to get people to help them.
I don't know anymore though, because I feel like especially when your show, because I think it's like a streaming platform show, right? It's not like a network show, is it?
I don't think so.
I feel like with streaming these days, they just cancel shows for no reason. Like Netflix has canceled shows that have gotten great ratings and great viewership for literally just because they don't want to spend the money to pay the cast more. So I feel like
Crazy.
it's not necessarily like it. I don't know. I don't see it as like a desperate move. I see it as like a, hey, we can make money off of this. Don't cancel us like every other show on Netflix and shit like that.
Yeah.
Although I don't think it's a Netflix show, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cross our fingers for them.
Sending love to Chuck.
Well, are we ready to talk about Pandorum?
Of course. Oh.
My mouse just did something weird.
Oh.
Okay, Pandorum. Here we go. I'll give you a little summary in case you haven't seen it or it's been a while. Astronauts Peyton, played by Dennis Quaid, and Bauer, played by Ben Foster, awake in a hypersleep chamber with no memory of who they are or what their mission might be. While Peyton stays behind to monitor the radio transmitter, Bauer ventures out of the chamber into the seemingly abandoned spaceship. The men quickly realize that they are not alone and that the fate of mankind hinges on what they do next. That was from Google. It was released in 2009. It was written by Travis Malloy and Christian Alvard, right? Alvard? I think is how you say that, Alvard?
It's not my week. I do not look it up.
Yeah, sorry. And Christian Alvard also directed. And fun fact, he was only 34 when he directed this. And it had a $33 million budget. And boy, is that apparent in the set design. Anyway, I also... No, that's a good budget. That's a good budget, and the set design is amazing. We'll talk about it later. Dennis Quaid, Ben Foster, Cam Gigante, and Norman Reedus is in it. I love Norman Reedus. It has a whopping 49% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 28% on Metacritic, but it does have a 6.7 out of 10 on IMDb.
Yeah, IMDb was a little bit more forgiving to it.
Yes.
Also, that's the 49% is the audience score of Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh God, what's the critic score?
29%.
Oh no.
Yeah, critics didn't like this.
I can see why.
Give too much away. I think critics were maybe like a little too harsh on it. Just a little bit. 29% is crazy.
Yeah. With that twist.
Which one?
Yeah, those twists, exactly. Critics. Crazy.
Actually, fun fact though, Travis Malloy, when he wrote it, he did not have an ending. He started it as kind of like a preliminary outline and kind of just going with the creative process of seeing where an idea would start and then how it would go.
Mm-hmm.
But then when he reached the ending, where Nadia finally like looks outside of the cockpit windows, he didn't know what she would see. And so he kind of just stopped writing and went out with his dog, took a walk. He was like looking up at the night sky, trying to figure out like what would be unexpected to see. And his dog started drinking out of a puddle. And then he saw the water and he was like, that would be kind of the exact opposite of like thinking you're in space and you're actually so far underwater. So that was how he came up with the ending. He went home and wrote the rest of it.
Cute.
Yeah.
The other fun thing I like about the script development is that it was originally by Travis Malloy, and it was written about a prison ship, and Bauer was a crew member, and then the people he stumbles upon on the ship are the prisoners. But the producers felt like it needed elevated a little bit, so they gave it to Christian Alvart, the director, and he was totally coincidentally and secretly developing a very similar film, but a little more spacey, and then they ended up melding the two scripts together to get what became Pandorum.
Yeah. I always think that's crazy. Like, I mean, obviously I feel like we hear about the ones that work well together like that. Yeah. So I am sure there's a million examples of someone getting a script, they're working on a script that has nothing to do with it, and they don't meld it together. And we never hear about it.
Yeah.
But it is interesting when it kind of works out that way, and it's like serendipitous.
Yeah. Yeah. It was also originally planned to be a short, and they were only going to put like $200,000 in it or something. But
yeah, well, it was going to be like a low budget, shot on video, like just unknown actors, cheapest set they could get. And then Impact Pictures read it, and they liked it.
Crazy.
Yeah. Your man Normus.
Normus?
Norman Reedus. Jesus. He asked for a role in the movie because he wanted to work with Christian Alvart again. He was like, put me in this film. I guess they had previously worked together on a movie called Antibodies.
Cute.
Do you have the antibodies? Do you want to be with me? No?
No.
Oh my God, that was a staple of early COVID.
Oh.
You've really never heard that song?
No.
Oh God.
Who's it by?
Nicholas Braun.
Who?
The glowing guy from Sky High.
Oh my God. That's fucking funny.
I think he's on Succession too now, but there was, that show ended, I think. But yeah, I don't know. He just really, it's like an emo song. It's so funny. It's like a throwback to like early 2000s. Like he's wearing like a fucking beater with a tie on. Like it's just very like early 2000s punk type of. I'm gonna send it to you because it's really funny.
Send it to me.
It's a great song, but it's about having the antibodies. And if you don't have them, you better stay away.
Wait, so it's literally about COVID?
It's literally about COVID. Yes, he wrote it about, like, getting the vaccine.
Oh my God. How did I not hear that?
I don't know. I listen to that song every day for, like, a month.
When you said it was a COVID staple, I was like, okay, it came out in 2020. I didn't think you meant it literally was about COVID.
No, it's quite literally about the pandemic.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like, oh, do you want to be with me? But you got to stay away.
Wait, but that's fucking genius. I can just imagine Joe Biden's team being like, hey, you know what would be really fucking great for millennials to get vaccinated? Let's go get somebody from that stupid Sky High movie and make him sing a fucking song about getting vaccinated in the style of 30 Seconds to Mars / other emo bands. That's insane.
Don't insult Nicholas Braun with fucking Jared Leto, okay? Don't ever do that again.
They're an iconic emo band, collectively.
There's so many other better emo bands you could have used.
Panic at the Disco, then.
Yeah. I'm just saying we're gonna have to link that somewhere because everybody should go listen to it if you haven't. I don't know. He plays someone on Succession called like Cousin something. Hold on, let me look up his name because when it dropped, everybody was Cousin Greg. That's who he plays on Succession. And Succession was like a huge show. So like when it dropped, everybody was like, Cousin Greg, like, dropped his son, but I just knew
Oh
him
my
from
God.
Sky High, so I'm like...
That's crazy. Yeah, I bet that was planned by the government. I bet that's a government plug to get millennials vaccinated. There's no other explanation.
I think the explanation is that, like, he's just, like, a weird, funny guy. That's my explanation, because obviously it didn't work if you've never even heard it, so...
Yeah. But still, it would make me get vaccinated. I mean, I am, but if I wasn't.
Yeah, I had already planned on getting vaccinated.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that came out, like, pretty early, so there wasn't a vaccine yet, but if I'm remembering the timeline correctly. Honestly, the past 4 years, kind of fuzzy.
Yeah. The fact that we're even still talking about COVID is insane.
Well, it's still very much a thing, so...
Yeah.
That's why we have to keep talking about it.
I guess so.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Fuck, what movie are we talking about?
Yeah. Well, we were talking about
Sky High?
Oh, yeah.
Normus. My bad. I'm so sorry, Norman Reedus. I know your name, I just read too fast.
Yeah. Oh, poor Norman.
Sometimes my mouth can't catch up to my brain. Actually, no. I think sometimes my brain can't catch up to my mouth.
Yeah.
I'm a
That sounds
yapper.
right. Yeah. It really is.
Okay. Takes one to know one.
When I'm editing the podcast and 3/4 of the little squiggle is pink, that's you talking, and then 1/4 of it is green. That's me talking.
All right. Tell us more about the movie then, Katie.
The one time I've edited the podcast.
the one edit, you were like, damn, she talks.
Yikes. Anyway, okay, we're talking about Pandorum. Another casting tidbit. The child hunter. The monsters in this are called hunters, which is dumb, but anyway. Is played by Christian Alvar's daughter, the director's daughter.
Nepotism.
Mm-hmm. I like that. But since I'm talking about him, the crew had nothing but amazing things to say about Christian Alvar too. I'll tell you some of the tidbits. Dennis Quaid was like, this guy's 34 years old, but he performs like a director with 40 years of experience. He said that he never wasted a shot. Every shot relates to the story and to the psychology of the characters. Ben Foster said that Christian had this like 800 cell, I guess, storyboard. He drew every single shot of the movie.
Jesus.
And knew them all. And he just would bring around this giant book of all of these pictures that he had drawn to like be able to like show people his vision.
Damn.
Yeah. He's like really committed to the bit.
The bit being a
His
multi-million-dollar movie.
Yeah. I mean, the critics thought it was a bit.
Yeah, the critics. A bit that they did not like.
No.
Yeah. It was supposed to be a trilogy, and that did not happen, obviously, because it was a box office bomb, as they call it.
Sad.
Yeah, it has gained like a cult following though over the years, and I guess there's a Facebook group called Fans for a Pandorum Sequel.
Mm-hmm.
And Christian Alvar and Travis Milloy have both joined to show their support. So they're in.
Yeah.
But my guess is it will probably never get made.
Yeah. Which, like, it would have to be a completely different movie unless it's like a prequel. Because they're on the new planet now.
Yeah. But there could be like issues that arise at the new planet.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, but it wouldn't be a space movie.
Yeah, unless it was like a prequel showing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I said.
How Gaio did what he did.
Well, funny you should mention that because I watched the 25-minute Pandorum, The World of Elysium documentary on YouTube.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's a behind-the-scenes documentary, and most of it is that. It's like behind-the-scenes stuff. It's very cool. Shows you like the moulage and the makeup, and the sets are fucking incredible. I'll talk more about that in a second.
Yeah.
But there's also a couple deleted scenes at the end. I'm assuming they're deleted scenes, or else they were created in support of the plot. I don't know.
Mm.
But there's like a training video about Taunus, the planet.
Okay.
And then there's like a 5-minute long video diary entry from Peyton's original crew.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. It's very enlightening.
Ah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I recommend it. It's on YouTube.
Nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, I will have to watch that. I'll be honest, I kind of forgot we were filming today. So
So you just finished the movie.
I watched it about an hour before I messaged you and said, hey, are we still recording?
Oh my God.
In my defense, I had plans on yesterday, which is Friday. Behind the scenes, we're filming this on a Saturday. But and I never have plans. So I had to really like mentally prepare to leave my house and go hang out with people.
Sorry that happened to you.
No, it was great. I had a great time. It just takes a lot of energy for me.
I'm going to say, it just really sounds like you're complaining about it.
No. I will say, though, I went to see Tarot.
Yikes. Sorry.
Just save your money, guys. It's fine.
Yeah.
You can wait till it's on streaming. I
That was like
promise.
when I was looking for news today, that was the first thing that popped up was like Tarot's ass.
I mean, it did help that there was someone in the theater cackling. They thought it was very, very funny. So that did help the experience because me and my friend were also laughing very hard.
Amazing.
But anyways, yeah, so I did not even think to look that up, but I will definitely watch it because I love like behind the scenes shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much fun.
Yeah, and what I'm telling you, like the set, I'll talk about the sets now since we're still talking about it.
Yeah.
There's 45 different, or between 45 and 50 different locations in the script or in the final product. They're all built. There's like a little bit of green screen action going on, like especially for like when you're looking out the windows and stuff.
Okay,
That's green screen. Everything else is built. There's 12 sets, and they built all 45 unique locations within those 12 sets.
Yeah.
So like each set could kind of transform into a different location, and usually multiple different locations.
Okay.
And it sounded like they filmed chronologically just based on the way the set designer was describing it, that they would like strike it between sets. Like they wouldn't go from one set to the other and stay there. They would go from one set to the other and then back. And then it's just, the documentary does a really good job, like showing all of it. It's very, very cool.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do like stuff like that, so I'll have to watch it.
Yeah.
Like that was on Netflix, like The Movies That Made Us or something like that.
Yeah, I love
that was
show.
such a good show.
Yeah.
I loved that shit.
Yeah.
I eat it up. Tell me how movies are made.
Yeah, definitely go watch this one. Like, even if you haven't watched Pandorum, like, it's still
Worth
really
it.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to see all the work that goes into a sci-fi movie with traditional sets.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that, God, yeah. I love that shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I want to walk around the set.
Right? Oh my God, and this one would be so cool.
Yeah.
They also gave a lot of insight into like the criteria for the monsters. They said that creating the monsters was the longest. It just took a really long time as far as development of the movie went.
Yeah.
The criteria that they gave were what one of the producers called strong in silhouette, because they believed that shadows would help build dread and suspense. So like their silhouette had to be spooky. Mm-hmm. The costumes had to look like they could believably be made from materials available on a spaceship.
Right.
They had to be physically strong but emaciated, because there's like not a lot of healthy protein available.
Got it.
People had to look at them and be like, okay, yeah, that's a human descendant.
Got it.
Which is already a lot of criteria. And they had to be new and different from anything else anybody has ever seen. And they ended up with 18 different looks.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Okay, I thought so.
Just typing.
I was going to say, I was looking to see, because I know this came out in 2009, but I was looking to see when The Descent came out. Because I feel like those were kind of similar. And that came out before. Because I think that's kind of like, not my biggest complaint about the movie, but I think a downfall of this movie is that a lot of the things that we see have already been done before
Mm-hmm.
and done a little better.
Yeah.
Like Alien or The Descent, like we've kind of seen stuff like that before.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that just reminded me of that. Because I didn't think the monsters were like wholly original.
Yeah, but I also think it's unfair to blame the like pallor of the monster's skin or like associate the pallor of the monster's skin with another completely different species of monster. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause
Yeah,
these
but I
guys
don't
were
think
wearing
it's
costumes
just. Yeah, I think like mannerism wise they were different, but I'm not just
Yeah.
talking about like the fact that they have pale skin. Like, I think like they had similar facial features and stuff like that. But I guess like they're both like humanoid type things, so it's kind of hard
Yeah.
to like. You still have to keep that resemblance there, which is going to make it
Mhm.
look similar.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I was really surprised to see them at the beginning of the movie. I was like, oh my God, you cannot tell me that I'm supposed to think that that's an alien. That looks like a person. And so it worked on me. It totally
Yeah.
worked. Like it ended up being a person.
yeah, you were happy it wasn't an alien.
Yeah, thank God. Oh my God. Ugh.
Yeah, I will say I do really like the concept of this movie. I think it's kind of cool to be like, oh shit, you wake up from hypersleep and it's way farther than what you thought it was.
Yeah.
And kind of figuring that out as you go is like crazy.
Mm-hmm. We could do an entire episode on the similarities between this movie and Avatar, but we don't have to.
Yeah, see, that would require me to watch Avatar.
No, it wouldn't. I could tell you all about it.
I don't want that. I can't tell you how okay I am with not doing that. This is the first movie where Ben Foster and John Foster worked together. They're brothers.
Cute.
Yeah. It's a very brief scene, but John Foster plays the passenger who like wakes up to immediately get eaten. What a way to go. That would be
It's funny that you say that because they do kind of look similar.
Well, yeah, the brothers, so.
Yeah, but like I recognized that they looked similar as I was watching the movie. I was like, hey, isn't that like
Okay.
I was honestly almost confused. Like, why are we having a flashback? Like, what's until I realized they were two different people. But that's funny.
Yeah. The way you said it made it sound like I was just saying
No.
that it wasn't an objective fact that they are.
No,
brothers.
Objectively, they are related.
Yeah.
Subjectively, they look alike.
Yeah.
The characters that his character runs into are like never named in the film.
Mm-mm.
We just know from the credits that their names are Nadia, Vaughn, and Leland.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I know. That's always interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're watching it, you don't even think like they don't even need names.
Yeah, like
you don't even notice.
Yeah, I mean, like one of them couldn't even speak English, so like you wouldn't have known his name anyway.
Mm-mm.
Probably.
Yeah, it'd be very hard to communicate if you don't have the same language.
Yeah. The director said that the characters collectively were developed on sort of a spectrum where Bauer is the most human-like and civilized character, down to the hunters, obviously, they're supposed to personify the least human-like and the most primal desires of humans.
Right.
Which I thought was fun. And then everybody else kind of fits in the...
Yeah, which I mean, I guess makes sense in the universe that they've created of like, they were injected with some shit that was supposed to make them evolve quickly to Tannis.
Mm-hmm.
So like, it makes sense that the longer you're awake, the more you're adapting towards this environment.
Yeah, spooky.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Foster insisted on eating live insects instead of using special effects or dead ones.
Yeah, so... PETA was pissed.
PETA's always angry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, what a it couldn't be me.
I've eaten a live bug.
That's
You hear that, PETA?
oh Jesus.
No, we were at dinner one day and this gnat landed on my plate, and so I squished it on my plate, which I don't do that anymore. I won't even kill a gnat. But my dad was like, "I'll give you $1 if you eat that." And I just put it in my mouth. Didn't even feel it in my mouth. It was so
Yeah.
unproblematic of something to put in my mouth.
In terms of if I'm gonna eat a bug, a gnat would probably be my first choice. 'Cause it's small. Very small.
Oh my god. There's a girl at work that makes salt and vinegar crickets.
Oh.
They're so fucking good.
I don't like salt and vinegar. So that would be
wrong.
my
That's a terrible opinion. That's
Okay.
your worst opinion.
I guarantee I have worse ones.
I can't think of anything.
I don't not like people who like it. I just don't like it. Anyways, it just tastes like shit to me. But I would try like a different flavored cricket for sure.
Like a ranch
Yeah.
or like a cheddar.
Ooh. Yeah. I was thinking more of like a spicy one or something. That'd be kind of fun.
Oh yeah, like a habanero or a chipotle.
Yeah.
Or like a Cholula or a Cholula would be really good.
Yeah. I'd try any of that.
Sriracha.
Sriracha crickets.
Oh my god.
Sign me up.
I'm a huge fan of sustainable protein. And bugs are a very sustainable protein.
That's true.
But I don't know that I could eat anything with a harder exoskeleton than a cricket. That's about, or with anything softer than a cricket. You know, like I'm not eating a worm. I'm not eating a roach.
Okay,
Cricket's
so
where I draw the line.
when you watched Lion King, in the grubs, were you a squishy one or a crunchy one?
I mean, I'm not a crunchy one. I'm in the middle. I'm a cricket girl only. I'll eat crickets.
Okay.
Cricket
Crickets
protein
feel more
is very
crunchy
good
to me.
They're I mean, a little bit, but they're not like, you're not like crunching into them. They're just like, you know.
I want to be clear. I was a crunchy girl all the way.
Yeah.
The crunchy bugs looked delicious to me in that movie.
Yeah.
My sister thought the slurpy ones looked good. I don't want to. I agree. I would not eat a worm, but one with a little crunch, sure.
A little crunch. I'm not fixing to chew on it. You know.
See, I think I'd rather it crunchy than not.
You've never eaten a cricket. You've never eaten a cricket, and it shows. Okay. Because it has a really wonderful texture. It's not too crunchy. It's not slimy. It's not soft. It's like a good. I'm trying to compare it to something. It's kind of like popcorn, but maybe a little harder.
Popcorn is pretty crunchy.
But no, it's soft. It's soft. You know?
You're like, it's not even that crunchy. It's like a chip. It's like
no, it's not like a chip. It's like popcorn.
I know, you just keep pulling out crunch.
Oh my god! Popcorn's not. It's not like crunchy. It's like a soft crunch. You know. Mm-hmm. The first thing that pops in my mind when I say crunchy is not popcorn.
That's fair.
Because if you let popcorn, you know when you do the thing with the popcorn, this is.
No?
You ever picked up popcorn with your tongue?
You just stick your tongue into the bowl of popcorn?
Not not always, but haven't you ever done that?
Yeah, when I was 8.
Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, it's like that kind of, you can't do that with a chip.
Yeah, I could.
No, you couldn't.
I could pick up a
really
Cheeto.
Small one. Okay, but no, you can't. Cheetos are too heavy.
No, I could pick up a Cheeto with my tongue. You have a weak-ass tongue. You gotta do some tongue workouts.
I'm not saying you I'm not saying you, dog the, wrap your tongue around it. You just stick your tongue on it, and then the popcorn. I'm so glad this video is not going to be out there. But,
oh, no, this is going on TikTok.
You know what I'm saying though? You stick you touch your tongue in the popcorn and it picks it up. You could do that with a cricket. You can't do that with a chip. And that
I'm really
honestly,
close to getting it. I think you should demonstrate like 4 more times.
I'm not going to.
I'll be there.
Oh my god. Anyway, all I'm saying is that crickets are good for the environment. They're a good source of protein. And it's not creating a bunch of environmental issues by eating them.
Great.
So good for you, Ben, eating bugs. I mean, they didn't have to be alive. You could have like freeze-dried them first.
Yeah, I think that was more so the issue. Like, love the rant you just went on.
Thank you.
But I will say, I don't think the issue was ever whether or not he was going to eat a cricket versus, you know, a cat. It was more so, is he eating a live cricket or are they digitally putting that in?
Yeah.
And then you made it about sustainable protein. So, to be clear,
I'm really
it was
passionate
never
about
that.
sustainable protein.
We can tell, but it was, to be clear, not about that at all.
Okay.
It was about him choosing to eat a live cricket rather than not doing that and just, you know, acting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other fun facts or soapboxes you'd like to talk about?
I mean, we could keep going about sustainable protein, but
No, I think you got your message across very well.
Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah, one more thing that I didn't notice in the film, but I thought was actually really cool reading about it after the fact, and I wish I had paid attention that closely to be able to figure it out on my own. There's a few clues that Peyton is not what he seems when they first meet, when Bauer and Peyton first meet. One of those is that Bauer comes out of cryo sleep and he's got like all of these layers of dead skin and he's like all wrinkly and he has to like get rid of all these layers that are stuck to him or whatever. But when Peyton comes out, he doesn't really have a whole lot of that because he hasn't been in cryo for as long. I didn't put that together until after.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't think I noticed that my first watch through either. I think another one is like when he washes his arms after cryo sleep, his number is different. Like his
he's got a 2 instead of 5.
Yeah, his flight is not the same as Bauer's. And I think that one I did notice. But also the skin one I think is interesting. I mean, I get that they were like, that was like a subtle thing, but I feel like he'd still have a lot of shit. He was still in cryo sleep for a goddamn long time.
Yeah.
Because like, he was what, in his 20s when they found out?
Mm-hmm.
And that was year 8.
Yeah.
So like, he was awake for another 25, 30 years to get to the age that he is as Dennis Quaid.
Yeah.
I would say like 25.
Probably.
Dennis Quaid's not like 50 in this movie. I don't know. And then, so yeah, that's only 50. That's only 30 years out of the 900 that they were in cryo sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like he'd still have a shit ton of layers.
Yeah, that's fair.
But that's just me. That's me fact checking this movie.
Yeah, it's just, you know what? It's just not. It's not a reasonable film. It could never happen for that reason only.
That's the reason he'd have more skin.
Yeah. Which that was really uncomfortable, by the way, that scene. I did not like that.
Taking the skin off?
Yeah, I didn't like that at all.
Oh, okay.
It
just kind of reminded me of like when you have a sunburn and you like peel it off even though you're not supposed to.
Oh, but it was wet though. I think it was the wetness is what bothered me.
Oh, okay. This like
dry
sliminess
peeling,
of it.
Yeah, you're right. Dry peeling is like really fun.
Yeah, it's like satisfying a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the wetness.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. I just have like one fun fact left.
Okay.
There's an Australian rap band named Pandorum.
Yeah.
And they chose the name after seeing this film because they liked the like fictional term that they created for the movie about the emotional stress caused by deep space.
So cute.
Yeah, I think it's fun.
Which, how dumb, not dumb, how, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but they weren't even in space. So like Pandorum's not even real, but it's also like not even real in the movie because they weren't even in space.
Well, I think the biggest case of Pandorum is Gaia, who was in space.
That's fair.
So
that is fair.
He was in space for a for a while.
I
And
guess they all
then-
believed they were in space.
Yeah. I think that's kind of the idea of it, right? It's probably
Yeah.
like the isolation and the knowing that Earth is gone type of thing. Like that's kind of what starts triggering it. Being in a void is probably better, right? Like they were just, the void was calling to them.
Yeah.
Should we rate it? Or do you have more fun facts?
No, let's rate it.
Okay.
Do you want me to? Okay. How
Yeah.
how scary did you think it was?
You always start. I like it.
How-
I gave it a 1.5.
Oh.
Because I feel like there are parts at the beginning where there's like suspense and you're seeing the shadows of the creatures and you know something's there, but you don't know what. And that's kind of creepy. But then for me, I feel like as it progresses, it kind of turns more into like a sci-fi action more than like full-on horror.
Yeah. Okay.
What about you?
I gave it a 1.
Yeah.
Nothing about this scared me. Not even a little bit. I fucking love space.
Okay.
And that wasn't even an alien. If it was an alien, maybe it would have been scarier.
Yeah, you're not scared of people.
No.
That's crime.
Crime's not scary.
People are so much scarier than aliens to me.
It's like that TikTok trend right now.
Oh yeah, man or
Rather-
bear.
Yeah, man or bear, alien or human.
Is the human a man or a woman?
Okay, alien or man. Okay, alien or man.
Alien.
I feel like their goals are kind of similar.
Well, we don't know the aliens' goals. It would just be what we have to go off of.
Probing.
Well, you don't know that. That's something we've created in media. If you went to another planet, would your first instinct be to shove something up their butt? Don't answer that.
I was thinking.
Speaking of that conversation, how sexy did you think it was?
Well, unfortunately, there was no probing in this movie.
Yeah, it's a shame.
I gave it a 1.5 for the cast. That's all.
I gave it a 1.5 for the cast.
Pretty good looking cast. I mean, even Dennis Quaid.
Yeah, it's not bad. Daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember him in that like baseball movie?
No.
Oh.
If there's one thing about me, it's that I probably haven't seen any baseball movies.
New podcast coming soon. I make Cassidy watch all of the baseball movies.
Please God, no.
There's got to be a baseball horror movie. Oh, we did. We've seen a baseball horror movie. Night Swim.
Oh my God, I straight up blocked that out of my mind, first of all. Second of all, I thought you were going to say Twilight.
That is a baseball movie.
That's the closest to a baseball movie I think I've seen.
Yeah. And honestly, you've seen one, you've seen them all.
That's true. They hit the ball and then they win. No, Benchwarmers. I saw that. It's a
don't remember
really,
that movie.
really bad movie starring like David Spade and Napoleon Dynamite. What is oh God, the guy who's in all of the like Adam Sandler movies. Rob Schneider.
Adam Sandler? Oh, okay.
No.
Yeah, I feel like I remember that movie coming out, but I don't remember anything about it.
Yeah. I remember it being bad even then. So I can't imagine that it would hold up.
Yeah.
Also, sorry, we've got on so many tangents this fucking episode, but I also saw a TikTok where this like little girl was talking. She's like, "Mom, he's so hot," and she's like, "Which one?" And he's like, "That one." And it turns to the TV and it's David Spade.
Did you see what he said?
And then he commented on it and he's like, wait, let her talk.
Oh, it's fucking funny.
Funniest shit ever. I was like, that makes me like you, David Spade.
I've liked David Spade ever since his assistant tried to kill him.
Okay, we're going to talk about that later.
You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, literally his assistant like tried to murder him. Here, in Arizona. In Scottsdale. Yeah.
Why?
Maybe? I don't know.
Oh, God.
Don't know.
Well, I'm glad he's okay.
Me too. Yeah, the way he talks about it, it's like the only time I have ever seen him be like somber.
Yeah.
But then he makes it funny.
Oh.
I know.
Jesus. Yeah, that's terrifying.
Yeah, it was very terrifying. I mean, not for me, for him.
Yeah.
Anyway, how fucked up did you think it was?
I gave it a 1.
Yeah.
It's pretty standard.
Yeah.
What about you?
I gave it a 1.5.
Because of the moist skin?
Yeah, more the eye.
Oh, yeah.
That was uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. I didn't really like the moist skin, but that wasn't like fucked up. It was just like, ugh. Is that necessary?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
All right, overall, what did you think about space movie Pandorum?
So so I watched this yesterday, and I immediately went to Dylan and I was like, Dylan, have you ever seen a movie that was so fucking terrible, but then at the last second, it just puts its little hooks in you, and you're like, oh my God, that was actually worth watching. Because boy, do I have a movie for you. And then I tried to explain the movie to him, which took like 45 minutes. He could have just watched the movie.
Just watched it, yeah.
So like I think when I first came out of it, I was like, oh my God, that was terrible. But like the more I thought about it, I kind of really liked it. So
joining the Facebook cult group now.
I already did. I went through the IMDb. I went through the IMDb trivia of this and saw there was a Facebook group and immediately joined that shit.
I'm obsessed with that.
Yeah. But anyway, all that to say, I gave it a 3.5.
Okay.
I liked it. It could have been a 4, but it was really bad. It wasn't a good movie. So I gave it a 3.5.
What a roller coaster ride of a review.
Yeah.
Great.
What did you give it?
I gave it a 2.5.
Oh, okay.
But here's the thing. I do still find it. That's more of like a critic rating.
That's terrible. You should be rating with your heart.
I know, but some of my heart still knows that like some things were not okay.
Yes. That's why I honestly
4. I gave it like a halfway down the line because there's like half of it I really, really like. And then half of it I don't. Like, honestly, sorry to Dennis Quaid, but like his whole shit was the most convoluted, like that bloated did not need to happen. So that whole thing, no. And I hate to say it, but him and Cam's performances were not good enough to carry the convoluted storyline. I did not think their performances were very good at all. If we just kept like Ben Foster's storyline, that was interesting to me. Like every time it would cut back to Dennis Quaid, I'm like, oh brother, this guy stinks. Like, get it out of here.
But Cam did all of the same faces that he does in Twilight as Jacob. That was very endearing to me. Like, oh,
he does not play Jacob, but
not Jacob, James. Too bad.
Like, what movie did you watch?
James.
So yeah, I feel, but I do think like I do agree that critics were too hard on this. Like 29% is crazy. That's a terrible score. I think it deserves a little bit higher. It's not that bad. Like it's bad, but it's also like if you just turn your brain off, you'll kind of have a fun time watching.
Yeah, I had a great time. Oh no, I didn't. Not until the end, and I was like, "What?" It's like two of my favorite things: space and ocean.
I do remember the first time I saw it because it was like when it came out, like around that time. So I was very young. How old was I?
15.
15? Yeah, I was about like 15, 16 when it came out. And I remember I watched it and I was like, hot diggity damn, what a twist. This is some M. Night Shyamalan shit. And I was like, this is great. And I went on and it was like that moment where you're like, what a fun film. And you go on and it's like the most universally hated movie of all time. You're just like, oh shit.
Aww.
But I do remember I really liked it when it first came out. Yeah. And obviously, like, I'm an adult now, so I can kind of look at things a little bit more critically, so I do see the flaws a lot more now than I did when I was younger.
Yeah.
But I still think it's like kind of fun. It's just like, calm down, critics. Just have a good time for once in your goddamn lives.
Yeah. God. Man, they won't know what hits them when we're allowed to review stuff on Rotten Tomatoes. But that was the one thing I was going to say about like the audience score and the IMDb and all that. I mean, that's just the Facebook group.
That's
They're just going on there and making sure that everybody leaves their reviews. Literally.
You know what? But like, good on them.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is an honest confession that I have. Sometimes I will log into IMDb and I'll rate movies way higher than they deserve because I think their score is so low.
Yeah.
And it's an undeserved low score.
That's fair.
You know?
Yeah. I think the IMDb 6.7 is generous.
I think that the IMDb it's too high, and the Rotten Tomatoes is a bit too low.
Yeah, split the difference.
Yeah, let's find I think it's like it would be rotten on Rotten Tomatoes for me, but like in the middle, you know?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Look, see, I'm not even asking for a sequel. I think a sequel would be too much of a departure from the original story. That wouldn't be very interesting to me. But there is an unrated version that hasn't been released. That's all I'm asking for. That's not so much to ask. It's already made.
Post it in the Facebook group.
I did. You underestimate me.
Oh God, you made me cackle. Oh shit. Oh, that's incredible. Would you survive?
I mean, I would like to think I would.
Okay.
I'm not a fast runner. I don't have many skills, survival wise, or at all.
Mm-hmm.
I probably wouldn't. But I would really like to be like one of the like first people on a new planet to essentially colonize that planet and start from the ground up. And you know what I mean?
I think yes, but I don't think your want to do that plays into if you would survive.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think that just means you would be on the ship.
Yeah, and it would be really fun for me to be on like an episode of Space Naked and Afraid. But I don't think I'm living. I don't think I can run fast enough. I don't have the skills.
They're quick.
Yeah. And strong.
Yeah.
Yeah. The way this is totally unrelated. Norman Reedus.
Mm-hmm.
It's like is he the one that gets his intestines ripped out?
Yeah, he's the one that he finds like strung up. Bauer finds him strung up and he gets him down and helps him, and then he's like, you don't know any more than I do. Like, fuck you, I'm out of here. And then he gets attacked. Yeah.
But he gets his intestines out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a fantasy I've had of rearranging Norman Reedus's intestines.
Like
in a different
that?
way.
Great, let's clarify.
In a
Gonna get
different way.
fucking put on a watch list. Jesus Christ.
For that, I've said so much worse. Would you survive?
Probably not.
Yeah.
I think if about 1,200 people out of 60,000 survived, odds aren't great.
Well, here's the thing. Something that we're not taking into account.
Mm-hmm.
We're not engineers.
Yeah.
So we're probably just like asleep in our pods.
Yeah, but that was like the feeding grounds. And people were just waking up willy-nilly.
Yeah, I guess that's
like,
true.
how did Bauer wake up? Exactly. His pod just was like, it's time, I guess. It's been 900 fucking years.
Crazy.
So it feels like there wasn't really like an order to when they were waking up after things went awry. And
also,
especially with the like shit shutting down, could have caused some malfunctions.
Also, isn't the like process of skin shedding also the aging process?
I don't know enough about it to comment, so
Okay.
I can't tell you.
Something to think about.
Yeah, that's something we'd have to research because I don't know.
Anyway.
But yeah, I'm just saying if it's 1,200 out of 60,000,
Oh,
statistically, I'm probably dying.
Yeah.
So,
Well, what is that? What is that?
what are our
Wait,
chances?
1,200 out of 60,000?
Yeah.
0.02. So that's a 2% chance. So
Yeah.
that's a 1 in 50, right?
Yeah.
1 in 50?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Pick a number between 1 and 50. We're going to
11.
scientifically determine, and of course, we're going to scientifically determine if we would survive.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
8.
Yeah. I got to do it for you, though.
Okay, do it for me.
Okay. Max 50. All right.
27.
3.
You didn't even generate it.
I literally did.
We'll generate it again.
4.
4 is my least favorite number.
It just goes up. I did it again. 35. You're still not doing it. You've
Okay,
had 3
so
chances and
we
you're still
died.
dead. We died.
We're definitely dead.
We died a lot.
I hope somebody out there is impressed by my quick math of 1 in 50.
If you can't do 2 out of 100 to 1 in 50, let me know. We'll do some math sessions. Okay, do you want to guess the plot of next week's film?
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
so
no, but it's part of their shtick.
I
I'm
would
just
like to
kidding.
go on record and say that the shtick was your idea.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Okay, so next week we are going to do kind of a different thing than we've done before. We're going to talk about both the original film and the remake of
I
it.
feel like we talked about this. I don't remember what you're talking about.
I tell Katie what's going to happen on our podcast, and then she immediately forgets what's going to happen on our
I forget most of the
podcast.
movies, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mentioned a movie we watched like late last year, and she was like, I haven't seen that.
Never even heard of that movie.
You just made that up. Okay, so we're going to talk about both the 1978 and the 2004 remake of Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, Dawn of the Dead. That's zombies.
Okay, tell me
Okay.
tell me what it's about.
Okay, it's about 2 men. One of them carries a chainsaw. One of them
course.
carries a sword.
Mm-hmm.
And zombies come to life.
Yep.
And the guy with the chainsaw is like Irish.
Mm.
He they're just trying to like get out of the like area where all the infected people are or the zombies are.
Yeah.
And they meet and they realize, oh my God, you're both alive. We're living. We're not zombies. And they team up and they meet a couple other people on the way out. It's kind of like Zombieland, but it's,
Of course.
I think, set in Ireland,
Mm-hmm.
probably, or England, somewhere over there.
Obviously.
And they make it out.
Great.
Yeah.
So the 2 guys just handle things.
Yeah, they're buddies. Mm-hmm.
Great.
Yep. That's it. I mean, there's not really a plot in zombie movies. It's just like get away from the zombies, you know?
Yeah. Cool. No.
And there's also no? Not even close? Not even a little bit?
Oh, there's zombies.
Okay.
And there are like 2 guys, I guess, but
Was
it's
one of them
more than
Irish?
just 2. I don't think so. It's set in the US.
Oh.
Pretty sure they're all American.
Darn. I was going off of what little knowledge I have of Shaun of the Dead. Is there an Irish guy in that one?
I don't think so.
Oh. Are there...
It is set in the UK, but I think they're English.
Oh.
Well, I know the main 2 are. I don't think there's...
Is there a chainsaw?
In Shaun of the Dead?
Cassie's never seen Shaun of the Dead.
I don't think so. It's been a while.
Mm.
No, I remember there's bats. It's more like hand-to-hand combat.
I thought you meant like bats. I was like, what is it? Vampire zombies?
Like baseball bats and cricket
it.
bats, I think.
Another baseball movie.
But I don't think there's a chainsaw.
Okay. Well, I mean,
You thinking of the Texas Chainsaw?
no, that's not a zombie movie.
You know, I know that. Yeah, I will say that's a a very, very loose parody of multiple zombie movies, not just
Oh, okay.
Dawn of the Dead. But yeah, it's set in America. It's a group of people, and they're zombies.
Like Zombieland. You literally just described Zombieland.
Great, yeah. But yeah, this is I don't think it's like the blueprint. That's probably Night of the Living Dead, which is George A. Romero's first zombie movie. Maybe like, I don't know if it's the first zombie movie, but it's like one of the first zombie horror movies. So this is like not a sequel, but like his second in his zombie movie experience.
Got it.
So yeah, no real connection to Night of the Living Dead, but it's his second. So yeah, we'll watch that, and then we will watch the remake, and we'll kind of talk about both, compare both, and yeah.
Exciting.
I know, I'm excited to kind of just like, because I feel like I always want to talk about the remakes or the sequels and stuff, and you don't get to, so
Yeah.
it'll be nice to just have you watch both, and you can talk about both.
Yay.
Nice. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Yeah, please like and subscribe.
Please.
Bye.
Oh, not even a we'll see you next week or anything.
Okay. See you next Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah. Bye.
Bye.